Hey, I'm Jóia and I'm an interdisciplinary artist and former biology student. I have always had great passion for both art and science. Together, they make a beautiful way of critically contemplating about society. Most people tend to think that science and art do not go well together, but I do not believe that is true. Both art and science need a special way of thinking out of the box, critical engagement in society, and an unsurpassed perseverance. I consider this way of thinking a very unique form of creativity. In both science and art, we learn to look at familiar things in a different light, to either discover something new or to find a reborn appreciation for something. I do not want to create art to add something to the world, or to show my personal opinion. There are enough things in nature and science to be amazed by. I want to create art that shows things we already know in a different light, to make people think about and appreciate what is already there. I started this project with an interest in using biology, but I had no idea how I wanted and could do that. But instead of waiting for the right idea to appear, I started going outside every day and documenting what I saw, heard, smelled, and felt. I noted everything down, from the sound of the birds till the song that got stuck in my head of a feeling I got while making a walk. In the end, I had a notebook full of observations. I took the book, sat down, and started looking for a connection between everything I had written down. I found that the main connection was my appreciation for the common things. The whistling of the birds, the passing of clouds, the sunset, the sound of the wind, fields filled with green, the breaking of branches, the calling from a seagull, the web of a spider, and at last, the human interpretation of all that I just named. I started recognizing the whistles of different birds, and I now greet those birds every time I visit my garden. I started standing still on my walk to the supermarket. I started appreciating what I had not noticed and appreciated before. So there I found what I wanted to do for this project. I wanted to create something that would make people appreciate the underappreciated known but forgotten. I have a big love for plants, so I quickly decided that I wanted to focus on weeds. The hardest part was to include my biology research results without making this a purely scientific project. There are already lots of books, videos, and apps about plants, spotting plants, rare plants, common plants, etc., based on thorough scientific research, including a lot more plants than I have knowledge of. Not only did I not have the tools or time to conduct such a research, I also did not want to create a book that had already been made. So, how could I create something that was scientific, artistic, unique, and personal? That is when I came up with the idea to compare the weeds to normal-looking people who change the world. To learn to appreciate lives for their abilities rather than their looks. I made a list of plants and connected an important figure of history to it based on their abilities, characteristics, symbolism, and stories. Albert Einstein and the dandelion. Ah, the dandelion, the flower that brings out our inner child. We pick it up, blow its seeds through the air, and enjoy the wind carrying the parachute-like particles towards new places for the flower to grow. As a biology student, I learned mostly to look at plants from a scientific point of view. However, it is things like the playful interaction with nature that made me fall in love with plants and encouraged me to get to know more about them, and nature in general. This brings me to why Albert Einstein is connected to this flower. Einstein did not believe in learning via a sense of duty, or any sense of practicing systematically whatsoever. He clashed with multiple schools because of their rigid ways of teaching, wherein, according to him, they took away the motivation from students by taking away the room for creativity. Next to his fundamental physics discoveries, Einstein had a big love for music and playing the violin. It is known that with playing violin, he never practiced systematically. He said, "Love is a better teacher than a sense of duty." Humans are inherently studious beings, but oftentimes discouraged to approach matters with an open mind. I think it is safe to trust one of the smartest human beings who has ever lived, in his approach to learning. Next time you see a fluffy dandelion, pick it up, blow its seeds, watch them move through the air, and dare to think like a child. Dare to wonder, what if, why, how?